Okay.
Action-packed first half. No way I'm falling asleep in this one tonight. 29-29. Dougie, I meant to call you on this one or in the pregame.
Yep.
You said McNeely was your favorite player. Now you know the Duns watch the show. You know Miss Beekman watches the show. What is your answer to them when they say, "Wait a minute, Doug, you told me Reese was my favorite player. You told me Elijah was my favorite player." By the way, Reese Beekman having a heck of a first half.
Hey, I love Reese from the beginning, but Reese is a grown man now, so I don't have to love him so much, right? I'm IMAC. I love Ryan Dunn. I love. His parents are phenomenal. But Elijah Gertrude's my man. He hasn't played a minute yet.
Elijah Gertrude might as well be your son.
Yeah, don't say that. I have too many sons, so that's fine. He has a dad. He has a mom.
Are you claiming Ryan Dunn now because Mrs. Dunn yelled at you at photos?
Yes. She got mad at me, and she's not wrong, and she's right. Hey, if the moms defend their sons, and she was like, "It's not funny. What do you say about my son?" I'm like, "No, ma'am. I know it's not, but we're good." My mom's in town this week. I told you, Marky, and she's her, she's him, and the whole thing, and we're all on the same team. And I love these kids, but all right, you're trying to make me uncomfortable.
I had to call you on, Dougie. You said one was your favorite, and you claimed 4 to be your favorite, which I love, by the way.
I appreciate it. I love all these kids.
You're so connected to the program. Josh B, my man. What do you make of the first half?
Probably went about as well as we really could have hoped. NC State only 1 of 6 from 3 so far. The downside, though, is they're over 50% from the field because they were there for a stretch, really kind of tearing us up inside, getting whatever they wanted right at the rim. I think the biggest takeaway, me and Fresh were talking about this right before we started the show live, is that Jordan Minor probably is going to have to play the vast majority of the second half. Major difference, when Blake or Jake, either one was in the game compared to when Minor was in as far as what they were able to do getting to the basket. So I'm expecting to see him probably play 15, 16 minutes in the second half.
What do you make of the way the refs are calling the Minor Big Daddy Burns?
Okay, so full disclosure, that again was something right before we started that me and Fresh were talking about. He doesn't really care as much about it. I'll be honest, though. I've been trying to hold my tongue most of the season on how some of the officiating has gone. But when you get to a point like this where both teams are kind of fighting for their lives and there's a trophy on the line, you really do at least hope and expect to see better from the refs. That call on the push-off I thought was pretty ridiculous. That was very clearly an offensive foul. I don't know how it wasn't. And then I don't know if you guys watched the replay. Slow motion obviously does make things worse than it probably was in real time. But, man, he really loaded up on that screen he set on Tane. I don't know how that doesn't get called either. But you live and you learn and you just battle with it. And we came out of it, it's a tie game at half. We're not down because of these calls at least. So that's a positive. We weathered the storm pretty well, I thought. With this team has all year had a problem with adversity. When things have kind of gone downhill for them, it snowballed into an avalanche very quickly. And those were some things that really could have done that again. You could hang your head over some bad calls, especially when the call goes against you, you don't agree, and then he scores a bucket, on the continued possession. So I just thought that the growth they've shown there is huge.
Yep. Staying on the Big Daddy Burns, Jordan Minor topic, and I think it is a very physical game, Bill. Thank you for mentioning that. We're getting a little punish down low between Middlebrooks and Burns.
Yep.
I see both coaches making a case for fouls in the paint. Now, when you watch Minor's under grabbing Big Daddy Burns' arms, right? Every time when Burns is backing down with that big body and big left hand, and then certainly, I don't know if it was he started with the pushing and the lowering the shoulder and the boom. I don't know how you call that. It's got to be a very physical. It's got to be a tough call for a referee to make. Like who started, who initiated it? When do you call it? Do you call it immediately? Do you call a secondary one? Do you call a third one? I'm not sure how you call it. And Roger Ayers is on the game, right? Roger Ayers By the way, my favorite referee of everybody, right? He has a stepdaughter that went to UVA, actually.
Oh
So
yeah, you said that. That's right.
ref UVA games until she's graduated, which was like 2 years ago.
Right.
Right. And we've had awesome dude. I've had multiple conversations with him. And by the way, I mean, he's just objective. And I know he was the first ref that I got to know a little bit because Ty and him would have great conversations Ty's freshman year during the course of the games. And so I know it's not like, there's some people who think that some referees are literally against you. Right. And typically they don't have a force in the race. They don't. First of all, they're being valued. They're on national TV. They want to keep the job. So I think they're in a tough spot. I'm not sure how you call that individual battle. Debbie, I don't know how you see it and what you think. Would love to get your opinion. And go ahead, Debbie.
Yeah, no. For me, referee, I don't see anything unless it's like very, very obvious. I don't watch for that. I watch for what we're doing, our guys, the other guys. So referees, hey man, it comes and goes. I always like when the referees call fouls on us early because that means late in the game we probably get the call, if that makes sense. But I don't really care.
Yeah. All right, let's go to IMAC. Roger's the best. Thanks, Just. That's not Justin Anderson weighing in, is it? No.
It is. Just.
All right.
No, he's in wherever he is, right?
Yeah. In I can't
3:30 in the morning, probably for him.
Josh B, what do you make of our subs, our bench play, and are you surprised, Dougie, at the amount of minutes that IMAC is getting if he's got considering that he's playing on a hurt ankle?
Yeah, I'm surprised, but he looks good. I don't see it, right? Do you see an injury? He's moving good. Made a couple shots, whatever. I think he's fine.
Yeah, no, offensively looks good. I think that minus the last play where Mikey O'Connell beat him off the dribble to get to the bucket, score and top the team up, which was just a heck of a move. Everybody gets beat on defense sometimes.
Exactly. Yep.
Right.
Happens.
You can't. Right? It happens to the best player. I love it, Just. Thank you for checking in. Love it, love it, love it. One of UVA's greatest players better be in the UVA Hall of Fame at some point, and we're all rooting for you, Just, where you are.
Wow,
great. Was talking about there. Was talking about there with Ty. Yeah, no. So I was a little surprised that Tane came out the game so early, and then when we talk about Josh, we talk about Rhodey and Harris. What contributions is Rhodey making? He's got 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 0 for 3 from the field. Not everybody's you're not going to make 100% shots.
No.
But are we surprised that TB went with him so much and didn't play Tane as much, especially the way Tane played last night and started tonight?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by it. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that Groves wasn't in the starting lineup again, where you could kind of move. It's kind of neat when him and Dunn are in there together. I think, Mark, you talked about halftime last night. When they're on offense, Jake actually plays more or less the 3. He's kind of the one that's running around trying to get open for shots, which is great. He probably should be. But then when they're on defense, Dunn can play the 4 and he can kind of guard, or he can guard on the wing. He can guard wherever the matchup tends to kind of lead him to. So I was kind of surprised they didn't go to that. That being said, though, with Tane, we played NC State twice this year, went 1-1 against them. First game at NC State, it truthfully wasn't as close as the score looked. They kind of just jumped on us from the start and held us down, and that was kind of the way it was. But also in that game, Tane Murray played, I think it was 18 minutes, did not score. Yep. You go back to, 3 weeks or so later, get a game in Charlottesville. Virginia ends up pulling away in overtime, and Tane had 11 points in that one. Huge key off the bench. So obviously, he's a guy that I'm assuming they've marked, and for good reason, because he did kind of light them up the last time they played. And he's a guy that is more or less an X factor in that he can stretch the court for Virginia when he's in. I personally, I think I do like him more as a spark off the bench. I think I would rather see Dunn on the perimeter with Groves in, just because I think Jake is just that elite level of a shooter. But I don't know that I like the idea of him trying to really guard, if that makes sense. Like when we don't have Minor in, things are getting pretty ugly, and I think that's really what's kept NC State in the game so far.
You know what? The other thing I love about our guards is their awareness, like their ability to set off-ball screens. For Grove twice, he got good looks. Once he passed a shot and kicked it to Dante Harris, who ended up attacking the basket. I mean, Lucas shot blocked from behind. But the awareness of our guards setting those screens, knowing that he's such a great shooter, is unbelievable, right? Just to make it a point, and Reese Beekman looks tremendous in the last 2 minutes. He looked great. I don't know how much you saw, Just, if you saw the whole first half. But absolutely, definitely need him to start in the second half. Would agree. What adjustments? And just feel free to chime in on this in text. What adjustments, Josh, Dougie, do you see us making on the interior to battle Burns and Middlebrook?
No, I personally don't think anything. I think he's going to wear off. He's not going to be better. There's no adjustment. If you double team, who cares? But I think it's all about Reese. Justin Anderson said it here, J.A. It's going to be Reese's game, and Reese will win the game for us, and we'll go to the finals of the ACC tournament, and that's it.
Yeah, I agree with that for the most part. William here makes a good point. Burns is getting a lot of his touches very high out, almost on the perimeter. So that's huge, and just not giving him that space to go ahead and get started. Also, that I really agree with Justin. So the last 3 minutes of that half, Reese kind of showed that he could do it at every level, right? He knocked down a three. He got in the lane act. He's 3 for 3 from the line. Filling the stat sheet up, he's got the 4 assists, 3 rebounds, had a steal. He's kind of showing everything that you need, and truthfully, he's kind of having that signature performance that I would say his career probably has been lacking a little bit. There was a good discussion on this on the forum earlier today. I don't remember who it was that brought it up, but with Reese, when we think about it, we remember some of the buzzer beaters that he's made, but he hasn't really had that big, defining, hey, I won this huge, springtime March game. And again, I'll reiterate, like I said last night, in Virginia's history, we only have 3 ACC tournament titles. So for this group, if they can pull that off, I think that really does cement Reese's legacy. So I think this is huge for him.
All right, keys to the second half, guys. Offensive keys to the second half, Josh B.
Second half, so yeah, Reese just keep attacking like they were trying to do in the first half. Try and get Burns in as many pick and roll actions as they could. He was kind of dropping in coverage a little bit, so definitely stay confident in your shot. Reese already knocked one down. He knows he can hit some threes, so just keep attacking as much as possible. I think the biggest thing is, like Fresh was saying, not really an adjustment, but I just think they have to kind of ride Minor in the second half and just keep them out of the paint. I think that's where State can really attack us, and I think the more that we can kind of ride him out, the better off we'll be.
I saw TB's interview as he was walking up the court, going into the locker room, and he was saying that they probably have to make an adjustment or they have to do something different with Middlebrooks. So I'm curious to know if he does make an adjustment, maybe he'll can counsel with his other coaches, and maybe they'll decide just to leave it. Listen, it's tie game, right? And our perimeter hasn't played great. When you look at Brody's over 2, over 3. Harris is over 2. Murray's over 2. Okay, so those 3 guys, when those guys start to hit a couple of shots, who knows, right? Maybe we take it to them. Are we? What's our feeling now, Doug? You being in this position in the past when you played halftime, semifinal game, are you starting to get a little tight? Are you playing because you think you are?
No, we're good. I thought since the beginning we're good. I think our guys are good. Keep doing what you're doing. We're fine. Just make shots. There's no secret. Make some shots. There's no change in what we're doing, but somebody's got to make shots. That's it.
Yep. But personally, emotionally, what's going through your body? Are you starting to get a little tight? Do you feel like we have to get in the back of your head?
Nah, they're kids, man. They're not tight. They're just having fun. I hope the way we were, Jason Williford, Corey Alexander, Junior Burrow. Hey man, let's go out. Let's play basketball. I hope these guys are the same way. Let's go play basketball, have fun, Reese, and let's win the game. We're gonna win. All
right. Well, we may not win 187-15 as WFS Who predicted. The victory. We will see you in the post. Second half just tipped off. Let's get it, Who's.
Go Who's. See you post game.
Cahoots.